When I first picked up the propeller guards for my DJI Mini 5 Pro, I thought they were just going to save me from the occasional mistake. I didn't think they would completely change the type of shots I was willing to go for. But with that confidence comes a downside. Eventually you start pushing just a little too far. And that's where DJI Carry Fresh earns its keep.
Holy smokes. It landed on its feet. It's like a cat. It's like a cat landing on its feet. That is the biggest problem with these things, is it gives you the balls to do stuff that you probably wouldn't do. It looks all right to me. A little bit of dirt. I'm gonna have a better look at it. That's not the only issue with these propellers, is giving you the big balls, but there are some other things we got to talk about. Holy smoke. So the biggest flaw to these things are the balls that it gives you to fly places maybe you shouldn't fly and try things that maybe you shouldn't try. These things are amazing. I've been using them for the last couple of days, and you take little bites, you start bumping into trees and branches, and then you go for it. And in this case, I crashed. But if you look at the drone here, there's just a little bit of dirt scuff on this one, and everything else is completely fine. I'll try to fly it here right away and make sure that it's working okay. But there's a couple of other things where these propeller guards give you a little bit of drawback when you put them on. First thing is, the drone knows when you put them on. It gives you a warning on the remote saying, hey, listen, you messed with my props. But DJI made these props and the drone is designed for them. You can see that here, how easy they are to remove and put back on. There's a little, look at that, little clips in there. And if you put them on wrong, it's going to tell you that there's an issue with the props. There's also a warning in the box when you open it, and that warning is going to tell you to make sure that you have the firmware updated to something recently after they've added the props to their firmwares. Now, what bothers me the most about them is the battery life. Because the drone knows that it's wearing them, it changes the way it wants to return home. I'm getting a return home at 45% when it first initiates that, hey, I'm coming home, and then you hit cancel. That was about 15 minutes into my last flight, and then it gave me about another 5 minutes before it actually just stopped and made me land right where I was. So that's an issue as well. It also limits your distance that you can fly with this thing. It won't let you fly further than 500 meters, which, to be fair, is more than enough. I rarely need to go more than 500 meters. And if I am, I'm definitely not going to be going bush crashing 500 meters away where I can't see it. And the other thing it limits you is with your altitude. 120 meters is where it's going to stop you no matter what you have it set for. And I did test it out. 120 meters here in Canada is the max altitude that you can fly these things without special permission, and it stopped me right at 119. So it did its job. I'm happy, Transport Canada's happy, everybody's happy. They're gonna bring your weight up above that 249 grams, or, you know, my drone weighs 253 with the regular prop, so it's above that 250 anyways. I think everybody's is different. I got one of the early ones, and I don't know how it works, but mine's over. It's even more over now. I think these weigh 16 grams a piece, so that would be 64 grams extra weight on here. So you should be somewhere around that 314 grams with the props on, if my math is correct. Another problem that I have with this setup is that you can't fold the drone up, but it's really not too big of a problem because they come apart so easily, and once apart, they stack together. There's these little magnets. See if I get my face in front of here. There's these little magnets, and they just all clip together nice. I'll try like this. I will put some footage up of them stacked nice, but that's how they go. I guess real time. Another one. And there you go. So that's how easily they stack. And to put them on, they're color coded. So you see this one's got the gray ring on it, and this motor's also got a gray ring on it. So that's how you know where they go. So the gray wheel to the gray ones, and they got the little slits in there, perfect. And then of course there is the orange ones that go to the orange motor. Magnets. So there's another one on and another one on, and it's that easy. And if you get them on wrong, then it's gonna tell you when you fire it up, it's gonna say there's an issue with the propellers. It's also gonna limit the speed that you can fly at. Now I took it for a rip. I cranked up the gain and expo on it to make sure I could get it going as fast as I could in sport mode. And I was maxed out. I'm not even sure if I hit 60 kilometers an hour. It was close to it, so not quite as fast as you can get going with the regular props. You'll also notice that it climbs, descends, and turns slower. I think that's why I crashed, because I was trying to fly up this corridor here of trees. And I knew I was getting closer and closer to the side I was trying to bring it over, and it just wasn't reacting as quick as it usually does. But mind you, my adrenaline was going pretty good when I was flying through their full speed. So my fault, my crash, my bad. Thanks for being such a tough little angel, you beautiful little angel. And another downside is that if you do mess up the propellers, you have to buy a whole kit. You can't buy just one, and you can't just change the propellers. They are a fixed unit. Let's see if I can show you here. It's all one fixed piece. But on the bright side, they are quite reasonably priced. I picked these up for right around $50 Canadian, so a little under 40 US dollars. And I actually got them from Amazon, and it's cheaper on Amazon than it was from the DJI site, and you don't have to pay for shipping. I think DJI had them on for $39 US, so pretty close, but Amazon's just pretty easy. And of course, I'll be leaving a link in the description below if you want to try one of these out. And I really think that you should, because these things, I didn't think it was something that I wanted or that I needed, but now that I can see the kind of risks I'm taking with this and how well it's standing up against branches and trees and indoors. If you're doing real estate, this thing can, it's like the DJI Flip now, but it's got that 1-inch sensor. It's got the better camera for inside. And I think I'm going to have to run a comparison video between this and the Neo 2 now that I've got the bumpers. But it is starting to rain here, so I better get back inside. I'm gonna see if this guy fires up, and I'm gonna try this corridor shot one more time before I head in. I'm the Jaunting Ape. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for tuning in, and the world is yours, my friends.
And remember, if you find my content and reviews bring a value to you, consider hitting that subscribe button down below and come along for the journey.